Howdy, howdy, folks. Welcome to Babble with Bronies. Glad you can join us here. We've got a lot of things to do. So, shall we get started? Sure hope so. First of all, first and foremost, we've got a couple of birthdays we want to talk about here. We've got one of them sitting in our audience with us today. Happy birthday to you, Vest. Wishing you many more good years, and I hope your birthday was a great day. Also, we want to wish a happy birthday to Colt Steel Stallion. His birthday is tomorrow, so happy birthday, Colt. I hope you're here because I got one of your comics in the show. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, Vest. More claps. All right. We've got a lot of things concerning both Babble with Bronies and Brony State today, so let's just get them out of the way as well. First of all, you guys probably saw right on the front page, and wow, am I loud. Is this going to be any better microphone-wise, folks? Just throw it in the chat and I'll get back to that. Anyway, Vest. First and foremost, if you guys did not see on the front page of Brony State, I knew I forgot something. Well, that's a quick fix. Anyway, the point is if you didn't catch what was on the front page of Brony State, the convention Buck, the UK convention that Saturn runs, will be streamed all of Friday, Saturday, and part of Sunday. So this means several things. One, the Euro night will be canceled. So we will only be showing the movies that we have on Friday. I don't know if we're going to make that up at some later time. I doubt it. But for what it is worth, Euro night Saturday is canceled. 2, while we probably could stream Babble with Bronies, we decided to take the week off. This way we can pool our resources into monitoring the chat here, and if anything, I think we could just use a good vacation. So, no Babble with Bronies next week, so just enjoy the convention and what's being streamed here, alright folks? One other thing, oh yeah, speaking of Brony State, 2 weeks from today, exactly 2 weeks, minus a few hours, mind you, but we will be streaming the Equestria Girls live showing on television. So if you have not seen it, now would be the time to watch it. It'll be when it's streamed at noon Eastern Standard Time, so 1200 hours. There'll be more details, so just stick around here for the Brony State site for more details, and subscribe to the newsletter too. GQE2Y. True, Mr. Ben, but I'm just throwing it out there for those who want to watch it, all in one go and maybe with people. Anyway, one last thing concerning Buck, and one more thing after that concerning Brony State. For those of you who don't know, Brony State's own Reki will be going to the to Buck. I don't know for what, or I know for what, but Anyway, the point is, if you like his prints and all the stuff that I've shown, I'm going to do this really quickly. If you like his prints, he is having an emergency print sale. Long story short, if you want any one of these prints, feel free to purchase one. Just run a quick screen through these. They range from anywhere between $20 and $40 American. It's $5 for shipping anywhere, so you're really getting a good deal if you like his work. Really want that Admiral Applejack one. Here is the link. Go support a good man, folks. And last thing concerning Brony State is just going to be the movies of this week. So as I said, they'll only be shown on Friday. That means Friday, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That would be the 23rd of this week. A movie is My Cousin Vinny. Pony 1 is Fall Weather Friends. B movie is The Pentagon Wars. That just sounds like a bad movie. Or not a bad movie in so much as a B movie. And Pony 2 is Read 'em and Weep. So stop on by, like I said, the 23rd, Friday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 1900 hours. Arm the trapezoids. All right, that is it for Brony State Babble with Bronies related news. The only other bit of news that I found this week was Shout Factory is releasing a Pony for Every Season DVD, and the episodes have been revealed. Shout Factory sent over a press release, blah, blah, blah. Episodes are yada, yada, yada. We have Wonderbolt Academy, Look Before You Sleep, Apple Family Reunion, Keep Calm and Flutter On, Winter Wrap-Up, and Too Many Pinkie Pies. There's a link to the EQD article. The DVD itself will be released November 19th, right before Season 4 starts up. If I recall right, there is a pre-order link to it on Amazon. Nope, but it does have a Pinterest board. However, like I said, if you want this, feel free. If you're a lot like me, I'm just going to buy the seasonal DVDs as they come out. Pentagon Wars is the sequel to Flatland. All right, let us move on. Let's see, we've got a couple. Before we get to the art and video, guys, I do actually have Pernker Par. Anyway, let's get this moving. I actually want to show a few games first, folks. It's actually just two that I have, but it's even just one game, but it comes from two different sources. The one that piqued my interest first was a game by Renaissance Brony. He made a solitaire game. MLP Klondike Solitaire. Pretty basic. It's, your standard issue. I'll just select two and show you really quickly. Just real basic solitaire, the kind you find on all Windows machines. If I start getting addicted, folks, tell me to stop. Actually, I should just quit right here while I'm ahead. Anyway, check it out. Now, Renaissance Brony led me to another. he led me to another person, Clone Constructor, who made yet another version. You'll be redealing and redealing if you're as good as me, Mr. Ben. This one is, you can play Klondike Solitaire or Spider Solitaire. And again, real basic. I'm going to keep the sounds on just for a little bit, but again, same thing. Take your pick of your favorite version. Real easy stuff. Good fun. If you're into solitaire, then if you're into solitaire, check these out. Alrighty, I have notes and comments. Funny. Anyway, folks, art or music first? Art or videos, I should say. We actually have, well, yeah, art or videos. One videos, two art. By the way, I should note, check out Clone Creator. Check out his channel. He's got a lot of other really cool games. 3, 4 art. Yeah, I really hate it when you guys go art of videos or videos of art. But I'm going to take that as you guys want art first. So, all right. Okay, I'll just ask this. Tox, do you want to do yours first? Well, okay, maybe not do you want to do it first. I know you're probably going to want to. But do you want me to do the voice acting and reading? Do you want me to do the reading of it first without you? Or do you want me to bring you on right away? Happy birthday, Colt Steel Stallion. It's not the case of I'm doing or I'm going to do the voice acting or not, Mr. Ben. It's whether Tox wants to be on or not first. Okay, he wants me to read it without me, so let's do that. All right, as I said, this one's by Toxic Mario. First one titled, or is only one for this week, titled Flower Shower. I really love these expressions in these comics. Would you cut that out? Well, excuse me for trying to water the flowers. Oh, I know that's going to just cause problems, but I probably will have to do it.
No, man, people get
it. What do you mean people get it?
I'm reading the chat. It's people. If people think about the comic hard enough, they'll understand it.
All right. What do you have to say about this one?
It was one of the more interesting comics I've ever had to do. As I'm not very good at drawing Cheerily at all.
What's so difficult about her?
I didn't draw her enough.
Well, are you gonna
and that means a hard thing.
And that what?
The mane is hard. I'm not very good at drawing Cheerly's mane.
Any what's the stuff I normally ask? How long did this one take?
Let's see. I actually started this one. Actually, I started this one before BronyCon. So this one, I put about 5 days into this one, but spread over like a week since I had to shut down this one for BronyCon and stuff like that. I was just quite surprised as I've had a lot of people actually ask me about how did you get the rain effect? And
Yeah, I was going to ask that actually.
it's actually really simple. The only thing I studied was there's two rain clouds. If you look at the rain scene in Ponyville Confidential, where Rainbow kicks the rain cloud on the Cutie Mark Crusaders, um, there's a little bit of how they did the effect with the rain.
Hmm.
And I looked at that, and I kind of mixed it up into my own little version of it, but I saw just how they did it and kind of incorporated it into making it like that. But the problem is with that, there's no bottom of it in the rain cloud.
Really?
Yep. In the actual episode, if you look at the actual rain cloud that Rainbow kicks, and then before she flies off in the Kingdom Hearts series, before they switch to the next scene, there's no bottom to the rain shaft that's falling. It's literally cut off in the screen. But the cloud is that cloud I kind of reference also off the cloud itself from that same scene. I don't make rain cloud muffins. This Twilight's Magic just said, "How do you make rain cloud muffins?" And
Oh, well,
uh,
that just gave it all away. Jeez.
it's not in the cloud. I mean, the muffin is not in the cloud. And that I don't mind spoiling where the muffin is because it's been out for a couple days now. The muffin in this comic is actually um, it's hidden inside the panel one rock. If you look very closely on the left-hand side, the rock is silhouetted into the rock face on the bright spot, and that's where it is.
As in the fourth panel, the last one?
No, 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 no. The first panel. If you look at the very top panel, the very first panel, on the left-hand side,
Oh,
there's one rock in there. And some people have been getting it, but some people have been thinking that I hid it inside a cloud.
you sneaky man.
I am very clever with that. I've had a lot of people who actually keep asking me at BronyCon and all of these scrunch, are you the guy that hides the muffins in there? I'm like, I think I'm the only guy that does spoiler stuff like that. And I've been doing it for only, let's say the last 2 years.
Just got one quick question from the audience. Matt the Shadow Man asks, will you still be continuing with the DBZ series?
As I always do. But the way that I'm doing these is to wait during the off season. What I'm doing is I'm breaking up a comic, then a DBZ pony, a comic, then a DBZ pony, because I don't want to burn myself out with comics, and I don't want to burn myself out because we still have a couple more months, well, at least a few more months to go. So I'm trying to space them out so you get a mixed bag of stuff each week.
That's a good deal.
hmm Like the one I'm working on will be the next DBZ Pony thing, and that will be out on Tuesday if I can get it done in time.
Excellent. We'll cover that one when it comes out.
It comes out, yeah, and that's a good.
Trust me, folks, you're going to want to see that one.
It's coming along. It's really getting good.
One last question. Are you streaming tonight?
I will be streaming tonight. I stream almost every night, and I probably will be streaming over the next week or so every single night.
Nice.
Unless it's Tuesday night, because I may have something planned.
Understandable.
And,
Right.
and by the way, you might want to mention what people missed out on 2 nights ago.
Oh, why don't you do those honors?
If anybody comes to my stream on any DBZ pony night that I will, any pony that I'm working on, which kind of I will be streaming any DBZ movies and stuff like that, and actual DBZ fights. Whenever I'm working on a DBZ pony that I'm working on, I will be streaming an actual fight or movie or whatever it is. Where's the stream? Link to my stream. Oh my god, they want the link to my stream.
That's good.
I know. Let's get that going. Let me put the link in the chat so people can follow that. And by the way, guys, if I'm gonna shameless plug, but I usually stream around between 9 and 10 p.m. Eastern time because I'm on the East Coast. Go East Coast.
Ooh.
But that's usually what I'll do is, so like I said, every DBZ Pony night that I'll do, which is obviously after I do a comic, I'll do the DBZ Pony thing, and I will announce on my poll saying, hey, if I'm starting a DBZ Pony one, then that's when I'll do it.
Good deal. Watch him
So
on his DeviantArt, and you'll get notification of when he's streaming. He also has a Twitter page, which will do the same thing.
Thunderbolt just mentioned an attack that I swear I'm giving one of the characters. The only problem is after I do, which I don't mind saying it, it's DBZ Bonbon versus DBZ Lyra.
Mm-hmm.
I had to decide which character I want to do next, and I had plenty of options, but I had to decide which one I want to do.
I don't think that's a bad situation to have yourself in, though.
Colt's always sleeping. He said, well, it doesn't matter. Sleeping on the job is always good. But that's alright, because you can always, like, come on another time. I should stream earlier. Yeah, it's Bonbon versus Lyra. I want to get into actual fight scenes. With the DBZ Pony ones from here on out until next year. And then next year I will be remaking all the DBZ Pony ones I've done so far in version 2s. Meaning they will be new attack, well, maybe not really new or same old attacks, I haven't decided, but they will be revamped with the little trick that Vest taught me, which I'm going to see if I can incorporate into this picture.
Nice.
I'm working on.
All right. Any last words?
No, I'm going to go lurk in the chat now.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Thanks,
No,
man.
no problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, Toxic Mario. DVC Bloomberg. All right. Who else was it I saw here? Oh. Let's go with this next one. This next one's a bit of a weird one. I'll get to yours next, Colt. I just don't want to do 2 comics in a row. This next one, I saw it in the on my DA, and I just thought, oh, I've got to show this just for the oddity that this is. This is No Ordinary Balloon Man's life-size Princess Celestia balloon. I've seen my fair share of balloon art. I've seen my fair share of different mediums of pony art, but I don't think I can ever say that I've seen balloon art. And the sole fact that this guy is doing, well, this is just awesome. I thought, oh, I know you guys are just going to love this. Quote, this balloon was a test for the new company I am now working for as a balloon artist. The owner wanted to see if it was possible to make the balloon Celestia I had made truly life-sized and in just 2 days. Succeeded in 11 hours. I had to come to the store twice. In 11 hours I completed her. Made everything I could out of balloons ranging from wings, her horn, her eye outlines, crown, her cutie mark, all balloons. Most challenging part was not only using larger balloons, but also using a new cool tool called a balloon bond. That does not surprise me, Saturn. Was this guy part of it? Oh, Matt. Matt. Jeez. There's the link. Send him my regards, folks. She's almost 10 feet high. That's about let's see, about 2.5 meters, somewhere in that neighborhood. Although the owners, that's about all I have to say about this. So, No Ordinary Balloon Man, this is a marvel. This is something that should be in the Traveling Pony Museum, at conventions. This is just something that should be, this is something that should be seen by a lot of people. What have I started with all these puns, people? Or at least, what are you guys trying to start with all of these puns? Alright, this next one is by our good friend Colt Steel Stallion, titled Homecoming. Alright. I want to get these voices fairly close, so that's why I'm always clearing my throat, people. Oh, Mommy's makeup. Check out some of these makeups, by the way. We've got 20, Shy, and Luna. I'll make myself just as beautiful as Mommy. Oh, sorry, that was my bad. Later that day. Twily, we're home. Oh, sorry. Thank you for that, Matt. Mommy, Mommy, Daddy, Daddy, look! Look how pretty I am! What the hey is that? Daddy thinks I'm ugly. So for those of you with, nah, I'm not going there. I'm just gonna let this one speak for itself. I like Twilight's mom here, like, shame, shame on you, and not to Twilight, to to her husband. Oh, Mr. Ben, now your flattery will get you nowhere. You know that. I can't believe we found a duelist who's worse than my. All right, who's next? Oh, that's what I forgot to do too. Need to do this. All right, let's go with this next one by our good friend Carliger Carl, titled "Cooling Down." We showed his stuff a couple episodes ago, in episode 50, that Princess Celestia, the cake stealer. I actually have not Thunderbolt at all. I know people do tend to like my voice acting because of how atrocious it is, but but I haven't. Who knows? Maybe one day. Anyway, quote: "The lack of AJ in my gallery made me cry." End quote. The thing that I loved about this the most was the fact that it's just like it's summer still. It's still summer here, and this is something that I would do in summer. Hose myself down on a very hot day. How about you guys? What do you guys have to say about this picture? Good point, Matt the Shadow Man. There's the link. I don't want to know about that, Sir Ganjolf. All right, let's move on. We got two of them here by Mickey Monster, and I think I'll show them. This first one's titled Enemies. Let's see, what was it he had to say? Quote, I'm very pleased with this one. The poses and small shadows here, and it feels like it's a step in the right direction. That lovely feeling of progress. Thanks to everyone for the happy birthday wishes. Don't think I've ever received so many happy birthdays before. End quote. To me, the thing that I think sticks out the best with this photo, or image I should say, is sure he can point out some of the technicalities like the shadows, but I think the expressions are the best part about this one. You get the idea that this is, I hate you, from both of them, I hate you and I want you dead. And not in that cute, silly way that I just said. No, I mean for real. I hate you and I want you dead right now. There's the link. I am not. Mr. Ben, that's actually a good one. That's so nice of them. And finally from him, we have Heartbroken Rainbow. This is another one of those cases of where his the expression, where he did a really good job with the expression of this one. And what was it I was going to say? That's what I love the most about this one. And to be fair, that's what he was going for. Quote, why is she sad? That's up to the viewer to decide. Some emotion/color practices. This one's a little too sketchy, but I'm satisfied with it. End quote. Again, he did a really good job of the expressions in this one. This isn't, sad, pseudo-sad, not good type that you might see in some, I don't know, I'll just say for lack of better terms, in amateur's work. This is real. This is the kind of pain that you see a real person have. You did a really good job capturing that, Mickey Monster. Tox. That's a potential, Matt the Shadow Man. That's certainly a good possibility. All right, let's move on. This next one is by another veteran we've had on here before, and he's in the chat. Sorry I didn't catch you earlier, Assassin Monkey. But anyway, this is Assassin Monkey's Salvation. Now, this one I have to do a little bit of a background explanation on. Quote, this is a commission by Sleep to Fade as a gift for Twilight is Magic. Yada, yada, yada. Twilight Sparkle, together with Twilight is Magic's Archaeologist Nightmare Skeleton Pony, the little green one, fighting a Wraith from Darksiders 2, based on the design from from an image. Blah, blah, blah. First of all, the lights and colors is what he worked on. Although I've not played Darksiders, from the screens and videos I've seen, it does feature some good use of glows, lights, and the like. I like the design, the dual wielding, the action poses. Quite interesting to work with. So I hope you all enjoy it, and especially Twilight is Magic, because I guess this one is for you. End quote. Do you have anything you want to add to this, Assassin Monkey? Or, yeah, Twilight is Magic, either one of you. Tox. I don't know what to say. Okay. That was fun to do, and the action was well. Well, you certainly did a marvelous job with the glowing, and I'm especially impressed with the angles you chose to put them in, and just the scene itself. You did a really good job of bringing these two to the ponies and the wraith to life. There's that. See, it's stuff like that that I love doing this job. Right there. What Saturn said. See, that's the kind of stuff that I like to do is to, um, well, just that. Plus, I think the scene is just awesome in and of itself, Assassin Monkey. So you did a really good job. Well, follow him, watch him, support him, folks. By the way, before I move on... Okay. Let's see here. Who was the other one who was in here that I wanted to get since he is here? Ooh, he is here. Good. All right, folks. Now this next one by a longtime friend. This is Death Ponies, and I have to say the title in an oddball way here. Pinky in space. See if I can't blow this up a little bit. There we go. Check out, first of all, Death Pony, do you have anything you want to say about this? Hold that thought, Crazy Rabbit Corn Pony. Eternally adorable. That's a good way of putting it. Hey, that's why I wanted you here, man. Okay, folks. Now, as I said, check out this suit. Check out the high detailing in this suit. It's very much Death Pony, and it's very much awesome. Something I want to share with you guys, though. You see this hose coming from her mouth and heading into this little cloud over here? At first, I thought that's where she got her oxygen from. Turns out, it's just a cotton candy cloud that's she's sucking chocolate rain from. So, yes, there is no air here. So, Crazy Rabbit Corn Pony, when you just said she doesn't need air, she really doesn't. Pretty much, Sir Gandalf. I just can't get enough of this concept. I think that's just a cool idea, as you guys were pointing out in the chat earlier. Putting her in space. That's an awesome idea. All right, let's move on. Still got quite a bit left to do here. Hope she's here. This next one is titled Secrecy by Looted. Vest. This one is, like I said, by our good friend Looted. The thing that struck me about this one that was so good were two things. One, the background. I've shown her stuff on here a few times before, but she's hasn't had much backgrounds to speak of. They've just been portraits, which is fine. But but I like that she's starting to do some backgrounds here. If this is an indication of that. Two, the shadows. More specifically, just the main one, of course. But what's really great about that is two things. It adds a bit of a three-dimensional effect, and more than anything, it adds a little bit more of a somber tone to this. A little bit, not excessive, but it's just really nice. If you're taking off, take care, Oticon. Yep, you are. You're welcome, and take care. Anything you guys have left to say? Howdy, Derpy Hooves. Mr. Ben. All right. I think we'll just move on. And all right, we'll get this one since it's the last one on the. We don't have as much art this week as we don't have as much art this week. So yeah, moving on. I don't think that one was charcoal, Matt the Shadow Man. I think that one was. I'm not sure. I think she had it in the description, so check it out. But anyway, this is Feel the Spirits of Night by Vardis Touch. Quote, well, here's a lovely little strong heart in HD. P.S. The background.psd is about 500 megabytes. 500 megabytes, people, for the background. Try and zoom in here and spread it about. Yeah. Three things that I like about this. One, that sky. My word, I have seen some starry nights, and they look about just like that, folks. They are very pretty. She did a very good job of capturing a really clear, very pretty night scene. Two, Little Strongheart. There are two things that I like about her. Her hairstyle, it just looks a little bit different, but I really like it in comparison to the show's style. And three, her form. I just think Vardis did a bit of her own take on this, and I really think she did a good job of Little Strongheart's form. Feel the Spirits of Night by Vardis Touch. I should have figured, Matt. Sorry I didn't say that. We're not done yet. I am not. Unless you have to leave early, which is fine. This next one is titled Back to School by a new one, Lollipop Enon. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correct there, but it took me a little bit. Lollipop Enon. Anyway, quote, soon the freedom will come to an end. Not yet, but still, too soon. End quote. For those of you who are going back to school, let me just point out that I'm sorry to have to remind you of this. But I saw this one, And I could not help but put this one on here because, first of all, I love their expressions here. Not only just AJ and Rarity's mom, but the CMC in particular. I said for all of those going back to school, not those who are out. Like I said, I saw this one. I just thought this has to go on. You should be happy with how this one turned out, Lollipop, because it's a really good one. Yeah, I can understand the feeling, Matt, because that's something I can actually relate to. Scrunchy face on Apple Bloom. All right. Quick peek of who's here. Oh. All right. These next two are by Citra. First one titled Exam. For those of you who remember me showing Button's the pilot episode Adventure, this is kind of a tie-in with it. Quote, "Poor Button. He probably shouldn't have stayed up all night playing video games again." End quote. Okay, quick question. Who's been guilty about that? School face. Evolves to work face. I'd rather save the princess. Wouldn't we all, Mr. Ben? He did a really good job with the farm on this one. And for the school scenery, I think he did a I think he should do a whole school scene myself, like the entire awesome Saturn. No, really, that's awesome. I know of people who've played hooky to play a game or two. Let's see. Last one I remember was couple friends played hooky to play Halo 4. But like I said, that's been a while. Anyway, by the way, check out some of the little detailings on this one. One, look in his bag. There's that Joy Boy of his, and on the exam is Pac-Man and 3 ghosts. All right. This last one by him is titled Want Some? You guys probably saw this one earlier in the week. I just could not help but laugh at this one because here's exactly why I could see this. First of all, quote, Rainbow Dash, why are you eating bacon? I blame Gilda. Enjoy this illustration. It's actually completed several months ago. I brought it as a print to 3 conventions, but now it's online. Hooray! End quote. Matt, I'm with Mr. Ben on this one. I'm going to be laughing at that for the longest time now. He's going to have a white shirt on. And he's going to be ranting and raving just like the nerd. There's going to be diarrhea everywhere. Anyway, back to this. Where was I? Why do I just see another pony walking up and going, "Can I have some?" Like after a long pause. All right. I did give it to you. Good. All right. Then let us go. This next one is a new person titled, or by Cosmic Scribbles, titled Meep Meep. Let's see. I saw this one and I just couldn't help but put it on because of the crossover, first of all. But second, I couldn't help but put it on just because I like the scenery. Um, yeah, I figured you would like this one of all people, Toxic Mario. If I recall right, Cosmic said somewhere that they're trying to do landscapes and whatnot. I just hope that wasn't a private message or something. Anyway, so if that's the case, I would say you did a fantastic job with this, Cosmic. The scenery is very nice. This looks exactly like a Bob Ross painting, except with Fluttershy and the Roadrunner in it. It's a really cute painting she's drawing there. Anyway, happy trees. I figured some of you guys who like one of those three, Ross, the Roadrunner, or ponies, would appreciate this one. All right. Next two are by our good friend Alasso. They're kind of two of the same. They're just. How do I want to put this? Well, this one's titled Dangerous Rainbow Dash. It's a commission. It's a commission for Periwig. I can't honestly say which one I prefer in this costume, Fluttershy or Rainbow Dash. End quote. Better yet, and Rainbow Dash has called. She wants the picture back. Let it not happen again. End quote. Yeah, if there's one thing that's just I want to say about this picture, it's uber cute. It's really cute. And those cute clouds in the back don't help anything. And yes, for what it's worth, I think Dash wears the outfit better than Fluttershy. Hiwa. And this next one is titled Dangerous Pinkie Pie. Quote, nothing like a personal speed challenge to start the day. End quote. I hope he continues this on. I hope he kind of continues putting them all in this little outfit, because I think a lot of Fluttershy is not the only one who can pull this look off. Case in point, the previous picture. And another case, this picture. Twilight is magic. All right, let's carry on. And last, you remember those pictures by Skybrush I showed last week, or that one where of Well, that actually happened, Mr. Ben. Remember in the season 3 opener? Remember that one of um, Sweetie the Hedgehog? Well, this is kind of a continuation from this. This one's titled Mega Blue. And what I have to say to this one is, well, first of all, does that bow come off like Cutman? And, does it slice? And for those of you who have been to the few streams I've done, let's just get the Kung Fu Cutman joke out of the way here right now. Okay. That's actually really cute, Matt the Shadow Man. He says Apple Bloom is Pikachu. Vifex, get on to that, man. There's a link. Yeah, there's the gender swap chopper. Yeah, there's something to tug at your nostalgia strings, folks. And that does it for art. So, moving on to the videos. Well, you know what? Since he's here, folks, Source Rabbit, I'm going to show his work first. Kind of a bit of a short one, but I'm hoping to see more from him in the future. This one is titled spelled that wrong. Pepsi Man Returns, a 1,000 subscriber special by Source Rabbit 0. Pepsi Man Returns, a 1,000 sub special by Source Rabbit 0. Check out his other work, folks, because there's one I showed not too long ago with a sad Scootaloo and Derpy. He was the one who made that. And so yes, imagine my shock when I figured that out. But Source Rabbit, do you have anything you want to say concerning this? Good water. You're welcome. I aim to please. Well, like I said in the message to you, I look forward to showing more stuff. Not only like that, but no, I'm not going to Saturn. Hidden Happiness, like if you produce more stuff like that, which it sounds like you are, it's going to end up back on here. I can just about guarantee it. All right, got to move on. Almost done with the first hour. We've gone over. This next one and last one is titled A Rip in Time, Derpy and Carrot Top's Epic by Carbon Maestro. Ladies and gentlemen, A Rip in Time, Derpy and Carrot Top's Epic by Carbon Maestro. Yeah, that's a good point there, Matt the Shadow Man. That's another good point. Is that does sound like something that would come out of Doctor Who. Maybe not the theme song, but as background music, I think that would be excellent. Oh, that Bond toilet is magic. Take care, Slater, by the way. Alright. Well, folks, that is it for content anyway. So, now I remember what I was supposed to do earlier. You guys know how I said we would start season 2 this day. Well, I owe you an explanation, all of you. I forgot about Buck. I was aware of the times, but I completely forgot about it. When scheduling. And then when Tuesday rolled around, this past Tuesday, I was reminded of the times, and I was informed if we were to broadcast, we would be starting an hour later. Now you say, well, you could probably stream. It's just 1 hour later. True. But this means a lot of things. As I said earlier, this means I would have to then work on BwB while working with for Brony State concerning Buck, which would have been a production nightmare from so many angles. It would have been even worse given the episodes we were reviewing. That is, the season 2 opener. There's a reason I'm setting 2 episodes aside for it, folks. I know it's going to be big. It's going to be full of discussion. So if it were any other episode, or at least any other non-two-parter, we probably would have gone through with it, or at least, we would have carried on and just skipped next week, no problem. But the thing is we would have started season 2 today, and then we would have gotten back to it 2 weeks later, which I think is just silly. I would much prefer to do it the next in 2 consecutive weeks. So that's why I postponed it. After Buck, we will get to the season 2 opener. Then I have an interview planned after that, and we'll carry on from there. So, as I said, it's open mic night. You guys are welcome to discuss anything that's pony related and within the rules, so nothing Yeah, I know the stream died. Yeah, I think it was because I was talking about Discord. But that would be iSour's fault, folks. Anyway, where was I? So it sounds like you caught it. But like I said, I'll just repeat the last bit before we dropped. We are not going to talk about anything non-pony related. So keep everything discussed pony related. And it has to follow the rules, so no spoilers or things like that, or anything else illegal by both Brony State and Babble with Brony rules. You'll know what it is. Like I said, common sense will tell you if you've been here. And one other thing I wanted to add. We will not be discussing any episodes that Babble with Bronies has not... take care, Source Rabbit. We will not be discussing anything, any episode that we have not aired. So we are not going to talk about, say, Season 2, Episode 10, Season 2, Episode 24, Season 3, Episode 10, or the like, okay? If you need to make a point concerning that, that's fine. Yeah, that's actually open for... That's fine, Saturn. Again, so long as it doesn't get too bad, but yeah, I don't see why not. Let's hold off on the comics since not everyone's read those, Matt the Shadow Man. Again, sorry, I know I have to be a little bit restrictive here, but sadly some people aren't going to get some of this stuff if we do it. But as I said, I just want to reiterate that just to make sure I got it. If you're making a point about something and it concerns a future episode, that's fine. But we're not going to say, hey guys, let's talk about Season 2, Episode 5, because... why not? I mean, I haven't played it on air here, but why not? So, what do you guys want to talk about? E1M6. I actually do have a few topics on hand, and there is one from... there is one that I wanted to bring up again. Mr. Ben. Well, we can certainly talk about ships. We can talk about music. Probably could, Matt the Shadow Man. Actually, there is one person I want to talk to. Sumika. About 3-4 weeks ago, somewhere in that neighborhood, you brought up something concerning non-Brony fans of the show, like, fans of My Little Pony before G4, and you wanted to talk, and we got into the subject of that versus the Bronies. Was there something that you wanted to carry on from there? I don't know if Sumika is here or not, but I distinctly remember us getting onto that kind of a topic. Oh, okay. If we want to discuss previous gens, that's fine. Oh, he's here from time to time, Kandaru. Never had it been put that way, Crab Pony. Okay, so let's go with previous generation stuff. Let's talk about that. What do you guys have to say about the previous generations? Any one of them. One, two, three. Shoot, even if you want to discuss five or four. Five, yeah, right. Now we're just getting into ships. Never watched them. Yeah, I never watched much of it either, Twilight is Magic. Most of what I've seen is when I was here. Carry on, Saturn, please. Such as Saturn, I know that's a pretty self-descriptive, but Sumika, if you were here about 3 or 4 weeks ago, somewhere in that neighborhood, you brought up a talking point about fans of the previous generations versus the fans of versus us, the Bronies, or it was something like that. But you had a really good point, but I had to brush you off because it was a little off topic. So if you remember it, I'd like to hear it and I'd like to discuss it again. Because it's not some sort of purity, right, Saturn? It's not, their standard, or it's not the MLP they remember, right? Reminded of a really silly image. Kind of, well, I guess maybe not necessarily what I was hinting at, but okay, that makes sense. I thought I told it to him. I'll type it in. There we go. Twilight is magic. I can think of a few people. One wonders why they would hate that, but I suppose it falls under its. I suppose the reason one would hate that Saturn is because it's not, as colorful as it once was. And kind of what I think either you and or Twy was hinting at earlier. Yeah, that was it, Sumika. That's it. Evil. And not just John Delancey, Saturn. So let's branch upon that, actually. I kind of want to... Here's an interesting question for you guys. Is our fandom special? Matt. What I mean is, are we separated from any other fandom in a special way? Meaning, like, because you're a brony, you're, I don't know, you're some special human or something like that. As compared to, say, being a fan of the Nintendo console, as old school in particular. That's what I'm meaning. Howdy, Moonview. Same difference, I suppose, Matt the Shadow. But yes, let's take his interpretation of that. Um, what makes the fandom Enuke to other fandoms? I think it's kind of, if I have to answer my own question, yeah, Enuke idea. Too much Blazing Saddles, Saturn. Anyway, I think if I had to answer my own question, I would have to put it like this. You know the old saying, a person is smart, people are stupid? Well, it works kind of like that. The individual fan is unique. The fandom itself is not. Spend as much time as I do searching for the stuff that I do, the art, the content, the news, and all that stuff, and then getting to report it back to you guys. You learn to start seeing things. And that's just it, is you see all this, you see interesting things. You do see art that you would never see anywhere else. You do see videos that you probably that anyone else. Let me rephrase that. That to search for videos just like, say, the Pepsi Man one I just found would be a bit difficult. But when you start going to, when you start broadening your horizons, when you start seeing other fandoms and some of the stuff they've done, you begin to realize their art can be just as good. Their videos can be just as good. So it falls under, at the broad level, what's the difference? Yeah, I can only suspect that, Saturn. In more ways than one. True, Twilight is magic. That's very true. Matt, I think that's you bring up a good point, and it's something worth something I want to address personally. Maybe it's just a means of perspective. In to answer that with a rhetorical question, or not a rhetorical question, but with that statement, perhaps it's just perspectives. Such as, Mr. Ben? And I guess anyone's can answer Mr. Ben's question. I want to see what you guys have to say about that, but show me some examples, please. Wow, we've already spent a half an hour on this. I like that. I really do. Okay. Perhaps this is a means of quantity over quality. I'll get back to that in a second. I'm kind of reading some of these. Well, that's just an inevitability, Matt. As I was saying, a means of quantity over quality. Twilight as Magic pointed out is previous quote, and quote, the Brony fandom feels more pleasant to me than other fandoms I've been in, end quote. I think I've already done that, Saturn. Other fandoms that you guys have been in this, I hesitate to ask because I'm going to have a hard time answering that, but it's worth asking. What have you guys seen in previous fandoms that, in terms of the pleasantness, the niceness, the generosity, for what it's worth, what have you guys seen more of that here than there? And here's another question worth bringing up. In comparison to the Brony fandom, how involved were you in other fandoms? Well, that goes for just about anyone. Any any fandom for kids is touched, Matt the Shadow Man. I mean, look at the Dragon Ball Z fandom. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, um, what I've seen is the Funimation dub. That was the one I grew up with. That's the one I love. That's the one I accept. And then you got DBZ Kai, which was done by 4Kids. Let me just put it this way. If I had a lighter, I'd be lighting it up right now. The reason I bring this up is because, as I mentioned, it's perhaps just a means of perspective. Where am I going with this? Most fandoms that I've been involved in, fair enough, J.E. Smith. But the point I'm trying to make is perhaps I ask because perhaps you've noticed being more involved in the pony fandom. I'll separate Brony fandom. Of all the fandoms I've ever been in, this is the one that I've been the most involved in. I've never done a podcast before this, and shoot, I even said to myself when I first got into the fandom, I wanted to give back to it. I wanted to do something to give back to it. I've never done that before in a fandom. Where am I going with this? The other fandoms that I've been involved in, I never really kept tabs on. So I can't really say with a grand definition that one is good or bad. I can say that I haven't seen much of it, so for me to judge the quality of it is difficult. As such, I'm asking you guys. It's if you've been as heavily involved with other fandoms, then perhaps you can say so. But if you haven't, then it becomes a lot more difficult to say if the Brony fandom is any better or worse than other fandoms. This brings up a good point then, Saturn. I'll kind of get back to that. I'll see if anyone has anything to say about what I said, but I do want to hit. Let's talk about that point a little bit later. Yep, yep. I could tell you that. Yep. Slash fix. They're not slasher fix, as in blood and gore, folks. But I think this brings up an interesting point as you're bringing up here, Twilight is Magic. Let's think about this for a minute. Let's roll the back clock about 10 years, where a lot of us were, our teens, maybe our 20s, something like that. I know some of you are going to be saying, not much older, or I was still much older, or I was much younger, but work with me here for a minute. You were 13, 14, somewhere in that neighborhood. So you bought, maybe the cards, or you bought the comics, or you bought that stuff. But you didn't have the resources that you had. Now, in the present, you've got those resources. Which opens up, alongside technological advancements, opens up your eyes and experiences to other possibilities, like searching for art and all that fun jazz. It'll be interesting, give it another 10, 20 years, when other fandoms will sprout out, whether they be, or especially internet-based ones like this one, and how they will compare to this one. And that too, Twilight is Magic, but work with me here. The same could be said. Now, I kind of want to go back to Saturn's point here. What he quote, blah blah blah, concerning the furry fandom, as time went on, it got more sexualized over time, and that's something that, while it does happen in sexualization does happen in this fandom, it's not really at the core of what the fandom is about to most people. Whereas with the furry fandom, it seems to me that as time went on, the opposite was true. In other words, it became more about sex and sexualizations. And I think a lot of fandoms are similar. See the Star Trek fandom. Let's work on that for a bit. What do you guys have to say about that? Particularly, how do I want to word this? Is that our inevitable conclusion? Is that where this fandom will go as time goes on? Thank you for bringing that nightmare up, Mr. Ben. Thank you. Trust me, Matt, I can only imagine. And yes, I know who Rouge the Bat is. Got one saying, I sure hope not. I got one saying, it isn't, with a certainty. What do some others have to say about it? And I guess here we can broaden that. What is this fandom's conclusion? What is its, not necessarily the end game after the show ends, but give it 5, 6 years after the show is over, where do you think this fandom itself will conclude to? Mr. Ben. Okay, I don't want to see that, Mr. Red, just for the sake of how silly that's going to sound. Oh my lord. It's well, it's certainly worth just interesting bringing up there. Twilight is magic, and like I said, in the sense of like I said, Saturn pointed out that as the furry fandom went on, it eventually became all but completely sexualized. I'm going to say that to be safe because I have heard of those who are furries but are not very sexualized with it. But again, it's a interesting point. Where is this fandom going? Well, sort of Thunderbolt, but I know what you mean. In the Star Trek ending bit. Well, no, Sumika. It's just like I say. It's just an interesting concept. Obviously, what we say now can be completely different. Not only when the show does end, but like I said, 5 years or so down the road. But I think it's just an interesting concept to discuss, just because I don't hate to dabble in what ifs. And this, well, all y'all are saying about what I'm thinking concerning the end game. That it's going to stay roughly about the same. You know, the sexualized section or faction, I should say, will. You're saying it's going to be a minority. It's an inevitable existence. You know, there's a reason Rule 34 exists. It's not because it's not the cause, it's the effect, or at least stating the obvious. And you're saying that, yeah, there will be a few remain. The few, the proud, the bronies. Forgive me for those of you who are Marines. No, I don't think so, Thunderbolt. That's just kind of how I see things. And hey, just because I see the beginning and see the end does not mean I don't enjoy the moment. All it is just merely, what's the quote? I guess there isn't a quote I'm thinking of from someone, but the way I see it is, if you think that anything can last forever, or at least in the sense of those who don't have an end game, or oftentimes find out the hard way when that end time comes. Iwa. I wouldn't be shocked, sub 06905. Again, as can't remember who someone said, was that anyway, whoever said it, it'll come out a Gen 5. The question is, how good will it be? Twy. In 3D. Okay, that would actually be kind of neat, Sumika. Bit weird, but it would be kind of cool. Okay, now smell-o-vision does need to happen. I wouldn't even say that, Kip. Yes, J. Smith, yes. Smell-o-vision replaces television. Like that'll work, quick thinker. Unless they re-release the Ancient Mew card. If I can get another Ancient Mew card with a $100 movie ticket, I'll be all over that. I have to do something like this again in the far future, an open mic night, because it's it's actually turned out pretty good here. Save that for when we get past episode 8, Matt the Shadow Man, because you remember how I said I wanted to do an episode concerning the writers? For those of you who were here when I announced it, you remember how I said we'd go through the seasons and then there would be a couple discussion episodes in between them, like this? Well, one of them was just that, and uh, that's the episode. After episode 8, that's the writers episode. No, Saturn, I think the clowns who thought this would be marketable should be shot first. At the very least. Ugh. Well, we've got 10 minutes left, folks. Is there anything pony MLP related you guys want to talk about? Actually, that's a good. Let's talk about that. Okay, folks, we'll expand it here. What are some characters that should return and why? Silver Spoon pointed the Saddle Arabian horses should return. I'd like to see them. Shoot, I'd like to see. I'm curious as to if the show explains why they are that way. I think they look cool. We'll get there when we get there as to why they should look that way, but okay, yeah, quick question. Who should return and why? Where was that one I wanted to hit? We could talk about those. I know I'm saving a season 4 predictions and hopes for when we get to. I wouldn't. We'll kind of just say that, but again, why not? And yeah, that is true, Saturn. Shoot, they weren't even really much of a. The place was a MacGuffin, but the horses themselves weren't. Still, though, it's interesting to see a pony design that's not the typical pony design. They're like actual horses. I'm guessing that those two will return, Mr. Ben, at some point. One of the joys I get here is the fact that you guys just make me laugh every time I do this. You guys just make me laugh. Ah, recycling the old. I'm immortal again. Twilight is magic. Okay, Saturn, go ahead. And then I want to get back to Sumika's point about plushies. Funny, Saturn. I get that. That right there. I see that, Matt. Okay, let's wrap this up with the previous point I was going to ask. Sumika, what about the plushies did you want to talk about? Of course, yeah, it's not very hard to make me laugh. Okay. I'll say that for the very end, Matt. Hold that thought. All right, let's talk about corn, folks. It's an extraordinarily starchy plant. We eat the seeds of it by usually by sticking two little prongs in it and chewing off the seeds. It's good food. If you haven't had any, get some. Especially sweet corn during the summer. That stuff's really good. He also loves popcorn. Twilight is magic. That pun. She already does, Matt the Shadow Man. At least a little bit. Now, you see, crazy rabbit corn pony, that might actually work. All right, let's wrap this up, folks. I kind of want to end on time anyway. All right. Just a reminder. Sorry. Just a reminder, we, Babble with Bronies, will not be streaming next week. Next week will be the Buck stream. So I hope you join us here on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as we stream that, the Buck convention. Saturn, if there's anything you want to say concerning it, please do so now. We will only be showing the Friday movie night, which is 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. No Euro stream, so no Saturday encore of the movie night. No Babble with Bronies, if I haven't said that enough. Don't forget about Rex thing. If you want the link, I can throw it back to you. Other than that, I believe we've... thank you, Saturn. Other than that, that's all I have to say. So, for all of us here at Babble with Bronies, I want to thank y'all for stopping by, especially those of you who were, especially for the artists, even if most of them left, some of them stayed, and I appreciate it. Hey, I just appreciate it even if you do come and go. I'm glad you show up. For myself, Mr. Ben, and Twilight is Magic, my co-workers, we want to thank you for coming and take care.